Right, hello, this is going to be a quick video on user controls. So what is a user control? I hear you ask and get some strange looks. Right, so if you go to the lates form here, this is the classic. These are just buttons. These are user controls. So what is a user control? Well, a user control is just a control made up of other controls. There's nothing more to it than that. Right? So to add a user control, you just go to project, add user control, okay, and then that will create the thing. Now, obviously, I've got one already here, so this is going to be very quick. So you get this in Solution Explorer, UC Late Student. Now, all this is like you've got almost like a form, and you can just drag stuff onto it. So all I have to put is two labels. If I just put the properties out there, you can see that was called LBL number lates, and that one is LBL name. All right. So now, once that's saved, I can now do things with that. Now, before I do that, I've actually added some code on there as well. So this is the thing that you can do with this, and you can give it properties and things like that. So if I just do view code now, you can see I've got three properties: number of lates, which is an integer, student ID, and the student name. So I'm storing all of those things to do with the student late. Okay, and when it loads up the student late, what it does is says the name of the label. The LBL name comes from the student name, which is our property. Number of lates comes from the number of lates property, and also if the number of lates is greater than equal to 2, then I change the background color to red. Okay. Now on update control, that just calls the form load event. So that if I want to update the control, so that's public, that's private, and pretty much that is the only code I've got on there. Right? Well, that is the only code I've got on there. So it doesn't do a great deal, but it's all right. So let's have a look at the actual code on the form. So this is my format. So that flow layout panel there is for buttons. This flow layout panel here is for user controls. So if I go to view code now, so I've got a few. So add user controls. So this one is called on the form load, probably. So we'll look. Yeah. So add buttons. That just adds normal buttons. This is add user controls. So this is almost exactly like I would add a button. Okay. So instead of having a button here, like that, what I'm going to do is I just say my user control. Now, because my user control has some properties that I've added, like student ID, I can access those as well and set those up. So it's not like you have to use the tag property and things like that and trying to be clever. You can just add as much stuff as you want to in here. You have a list or whatever you want. So DR1 is the name, first name and surname joined up. DR0 is the student ID, right? Number of lates. Now, in order to give it a number of lates, how many lates it has. Okay, Ruben, you're out of time. We've got this function here, get number of lates. So I send in the student ID, and it will return back with a number of lates. So if we just quickly test that. There we go. So I just got an aggregate function there, count, which is considered to be good practice. Again, I just use Server Explorer to create that, and then I just read that and then return it. Okay, so that's how I work out how many lates. Right. So, and then we give it a event method. So when we click it. So when we click it, let's have a look at the event method. It's down here. And then exactly like it was a button, I can do UC late student, user late equals basically the sender. So whoever clicked on it. And then when I click on the button, I want to save the late. So I find out the student ID of the button. Okay. So save late, just have a quick look at that. F12. So we've got the student ID, and then it does all the business. The period, it gets periods and minutes late as well. So calling another function there to get the periods and minutes late. Again, sort of thing we did in students late. So it's a bit overly complex, I suppose, but well, it's not overly complex, but it's a bit more complex. Then the user late, we add one to the number of lates in the user control, and user late update control. Now remember, update control, what that does is calls the form load event, and that will basically pretty much just change the color, even though it will try and refresh the name and stuff like that. So that's all it is. So when we run it one more time now, we've got one green student. There we go, Bobby Ball. If I click on that, it should now go red, and you can keep on adding. Okay, and that's it. They are as simple as that. Now you can obviously use them in much more sophisticated ways than that. And okay, but that's just a quick overview and how you can use them in your code. Okay, thank you.